everybody's got a story of the first time they saw a bird of prey.
Well, hey everyone, and welcome to Currently the Conversation, presented by TVC Cherry Capital Airport, your Northern Michigan connection. I'm Christal Frost, and today we are talking about some of the most fascinating, powerful, and honestly slightly intimidating creatures in Northern Michigan, raptors. But more importantly, we're talking about the people who are out there rescuing them, rehabilitating them, and helping us all understand why they matter so much. Joining me today are Kaitlyn Bohnet and Shelly Sissen-Burden from North Sky Raptor Sanctuary. Ladies, welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's so great to have you. I've been telling you, and I've been fangirling a little bit about this because I know that you have a very special bird that I get to, meet in a little
100%.
while. But I have such a deep fascination when it comes to talking about raptors and birds of prey because I feel that they're so majestic. I mean, they really are. Majestic is the word that comes to mind.
Majestic and resilient.
Yeah.
I think that's something that catches a lot of people too, that birds know how to survive and thrive, and then they get to go up into the air, and what a fantasy that is for us down here.
And they're also like dinosaurs,
100%
right?
dinosaurs. Yes.
Scientifically proven.
Yep.
Scientifically proven that we have dinosaurs in our midst.
I love it.
I mean, it's just amazing. So we're going to talk a lot about what you have done with North Sky. And I have to ask you first, Kaitlyn, as one of the co-founders, how does someone just wake up one day and say hey, you know what? I want to, hang out with birds with talons,
Listening to public radio is a very dangerous thing to do, right? So I was on my way to a very boring day job at the time and was listening to IPR, like you do. And they did a segment on falconry, and I knew, I've loved wildlife and animals my whole life.
Right.
But the opportunities to work with them in the varied capacities that I know exist now, I was not aware of back then. And the segment on falconry, it was incredible. I knew that falconry existed. I read My Side of the Mountain repeatedly in my youth, but I didn't know that it was practiced in the United States today. It's a historical, cultural right, but I didn't know that it was something that was still going on. So that kind of piqued my interest, and I did a deep dive, and a handful of years later, here we are. Oops, career change. But I wouldn't have it any other way. So as much as I love listening to our public radio stations, I just, like to put a little caution note there. It may change your whole life trajectory for the better.
For the better.
Yes.
Falconry is such an incredible practice because, as you mentioned, it is a rite, it's an ancient rite of passage almost. And it's that working partnership, though, between you and this incredible trained raptor, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a conservation, it's an act of conservation, too. So what's amazing with falconry, we have the privilege of having a couple falconers on our team and working closely with Michigan Hawking Club, which is the falconry group for Michigan. But what's amazing about it is you can, as a falconer, take a passage raptor, so a bird that has left the nest, but it's their first year being out in the wild, and with the proper licenses, of course. You trap that bird on its first migration, and then you train it and work with it all winter long, and you're providing it not just a safe place to land. So not every hunt is successful.
Right.
And in the wild, every hunt that's not successful is less calories, less energy, less opportunity that you're at your fighting fit best to do the same thing again tomorrow. So with falconry, they have the opportunity to learn all these skills, fail forward as many times as possible and as necessary, and they always get a meal when they go home.
Wow.
So by the time that these birds are finished, working with that individual falconer, they hunt all winter long, and then they can be released, in the spring after they've been fed up. And they can go back out into the wild, contribute to their breeding populations, and have so many more skills than they would have otherwise, which I think is really incredible.
It's like a boarding school for
absolutely,
for birds.
like a refinement school.
Right?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And what's cool is these birds are so smart, and they're so visually oriented that just because they have a relationship with a falconer, they do not generalize those relationships to all humans. So they're not a risk to anyone else. Like if they get hungry, they're not going to approach a strange random person and be like, "Hey, I'm hungry. You have that handout again?"
Right.
They are very particular about this. They distinguish between individuals.
That somehow makes it even more special. So because you're putting in the work as the falconer and, building that trusting relationship with the bird.
And you very much have to earn it.
Yes. Yeah.
It is their show the whole time.
How about you, Shelly? How did you find your way into this work?
Great question, because she did it to me.
So she's your public radio?
Yeah.
Completely. By way of, I would just hear about her mini toe dips into this adventure, and a lot of car rides of, oh, look. Going back a little bit, birds are pretty majestic.
Yeah.
And everybody has a great story about birds.
Yeah.
So for me, over the course of my life, like 5 top 10 best moments in my life all happened around like this weird bird encounter or bird sighting. One of the extra special moments for me was finding out when I was pregnant, a bird was sitting in the stall with me. So I named my daughter Jenna after a little bird.
Oh my God.
And it kind of just meshed from there. But we had previously worked together, and she's like, you want to come around and check it out? And of course I was like, yes.
There's this cool thing I'm doing on the side. Are you interested? She was like, yeah, right next to you the whole way. Buckle up, sister.
That is amazing. So you start on this journey, many years, not many years, but like how many years did it take for you to really get experienced in falconry?
Yeah, so I'm not a falconer.
Okay.
I'm now a certified professional bird trainer. I'm a wildlife rehabilitator.
Right.
I'm fortunate enough to have falconers on my team.
Right.
But the intention was initially to become a falconer. And then I realized, well, I've never been that close to a bird that big. Maybe I'm afraid. And before I changed my whole life and convinced my super generous husband to also change his whole lifestyle.
Right.
Maybe I should make sure that I'm not afraid of them. This is something that I want to get into. So I volunteered at another organization for about 6 years before we founded North Sky Raptor Sanctuary. And we did that in 2018.
Wow.
And we've kind of hit the ground running since. And while I'm not a falconer now, I have falconers on my team, and I get to go out with them and see their birds do amazing things.
Yeah.
And if I'm honest, I also put them to work a whole bunch, making sure that they get the babies that were, not able to be taught those skills by the parents. So it's all worked out great.
So before we started recording, you were like, oh, I just dropped off a baby owl at the vet, and then I came here. And I've been thinking about that since you said that, because, that is a very strange sentence.
It is.
And I'm sure with your, you're like my old boring job, where I'm driving and my commute to work, but now you're picking up baby owls and taking them to the vet, and you have educational programs, and you just, this is your life now.
My whole life.
Every moment.
Every moment.
Yeah.
I do not have social engagements that go without my phone going off going, hey, there's a downed bird on the side of the road over here. Or, hey, where do I drop this animal off to? So it takes a village.
Yes.
And yes, we grew slowly and then a whole lot all at once.
Right.
So yes. We admitted a baby barred owl, 7 days old. We know that because its eyes opened in front of us for the first time.
Okay.
Right.
That's amazing.
Same. And this is not a new experience for me, and it's still amazing every time. But yeah, we took him into the vet, took some radiographs, and we're waiting for an orthopedic surgeon to kind of report back and see if we can't fix up what's going wrong. It's a leg fracture. And then, on the way here, I dispatched one of my team members to go pick up another one.
Wow.
So
amazing.
It's always an adventure.
So where was that moment, between listening to the segment on falconry to now, really just being full steam ahead with North Sky Raptor? Was there a moment where you were just like, okay, this is my life now? Like you tried to do it sort of on the side, and then you were just like all in.
Yeah. You know how when you line up dominoes and then you bump one and they just kind of all go sequentially, but feels like it gets progressively faster.
Right.
It was kind of like that.
Yeah.
A particular moment, I don't know that there was like a sticking moment where it's like, this is a thing I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I don't think you realized it was happening.
No, it kind of sneaks up on you, and then you look around and you're like, oh, there are feathers everywhere.
Yeah.
This is my whole life now. Okay. And I don't want to change it for the world. It's
Right.
amazing.
Yeah.
But no, it was very much I think I would like to try this. And then that first domino went and we're off to the races.
And you have such a great team, as you were mentioning, and more volunteers and people coming, into this work with you. And Shelly, I have to shout out your role as helping in the outreach and the fundraising, that community connection. I mean, you're kind of acting as that bridge between the mission and the public. That has to be like just a lovely thing to do as well. You sent me one of the best emails I ever got in my life. Seriously.
You.
I was just like, yes, come on the show every day. It was wonderful. So how did you, become that bridge?
So I think it's interesting. My role is gaining momentum towards being able to work with the birds more full time. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, I get to sit in the passenger seat and watch the show. I get to be a part of all of the communication between the team members, talking about the different birds when they're coming in and whatnot. I get to work hands-on with the birds sometimes, but because of my day job and my life right now, I'm a little sidestepped aside. So everything I see them do is amazing. And all I want to do is tell their story because every small interaction they have with the community means something. Every small interaction they have with each other means something to me. Yeah. I see it meaning something to as the team grows and how tightly we work together. I'm fangirling my role right now for sure. I think I'm really lucky to be able to sit back and see a little bit of the magic that happens and not be so vested in picking up the bird as I drive home.
Right.
But I'm doing that
you will
too.
be.
I was going to say, but she does that too.
I do that too.
She is a true asset. Make no mistake. She does all the things.
So let me let's do a day in the life of you.
It looks different every day. Every day.
Well, when you're talking about you're rehabilitating birds, where do you do that?
Yeah, so we're on 2 different properties right now in Interlaken. So because it requires space, so we're on 2 different locations. They're private properties with wildlife. There are rules and regulations about public viewership.
Sure.
And they're all stemming from animal welfare. So these are wild animals that are removed from the wild for sick, injured, illness, orphaned, for whatever reason. They have to spend some time in human care. And that's so scary. I can't imagine, we don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah.
But for me, I'd think that this weird alien abducted me. And then I'm full sometimes. I'm sure the experience is wild. Yeah. But also being on display for the public would be very scary for them. So we want to make sure that we're keeping their stress levels as low as possible. And so that's why we're not just divided into 2 separate locations right now, but we're not open to the public where we're at.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah, and so that does kind of put a hiccup in some of our programming because we do have birds that are educational ambassadors that are not releasable back out to the wild for one reason or another, but they are awesome at what they do. You'll meet one today. Yes. They're awesome at what they do. And while they would be totally fine having people come over and say hi to them and, watch them do training sessions, we don't have the facilities to separate those 2 parts of our mission right now. And that's one of the things that we're so excited about with this Camp Greilich project is we'll be able to do everything on property. And we'll be able to, give members of the public insight on what we're doing behind the scenes because we'll have live cameras and one-way glass and just the ability to let everyone in to what we've been doing for 10 years.
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
That property. I know I also want to learn more about raptors too, but let's get right into talking about what is the Camp Greilich project. Yeah.
So this project is really exciting. We are embarking on a project with Camp Greilich and the Parks and Rec Department for Grand Traverse County to have a long-term lease on that particular property to open a state-of-the-art raptor hospital, wildlife education center, and research hub. So our mission those are the 3 branches of our mission, is community education from an ecological perspective. That's where educational ambassadors come in. But also we get so many birds that come across our rehabilitation facility. We are fortunately poised to be able to conduct research and contribute to research projects. So we have lots of that. And then we also have, our rehabilitation side. So being able to welcome the public onto a piece of property where they can experience all of those things right here. I mean,
That's cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. And we're really excited.
It just happens to be a beautiful piece of property.
Oh my goodness.
Stunning.
I mean, they will love it.
Yes. And so our educational ambassador team will expand because we'll have more availability. But also that means that we'll have like a raptor trail where you can, go for a little hike and then see these birds in their habitats, while you go for a little walk on the trail. And maybe there's a trainer inside the enclosure doing a training session and you can participate. There's also an incredible amphitheater out there already. So our mission is to free fly birds and bird shows. We really want to be able to demonstrate to the community what we do all the time that is we just don't have the ability to demonstrate that right now.
That is so cool. That is just the best. I have to talk a little more about these birds of prey.
Yeah.
These are raptors.
Yes.
And Raptors 101. How do I know I'm looking at a raptor?
Okay, so a raptor is not a technical term. It's it's a bubble or an umbrella.
Sure.
Raptors are predatory birds and they catch their food with their feet.
Okay.
So like a robin technically is predatory. They eat worms, but they catch their food with their beak. Same with herons and woodpeckers. So raptors catch their food with their feet. And one of the identifying characteristics of raptors is that they have the talon shape on the talons. On the ends of their toes, they're a really aggressive looking shape toenail. And yes, and that's for catching their food, right?
Yeah.
Now, if we're being technical, vultures technically aren't raptors.
They're not?
They're not. They don't catch anything, really.
Oh, yeah, because they kind of scavenge,
Correct.
right?
They scavenge, and their feet, they kind of look like chicken feet. They don't have talons, aggressive. But we like them a lot. So we just,
You scoop
group
them up.
we group a bit. We don't want them to be alone.
Do you think that the vulture is one of the most misunderstood birds?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
So Tito is our educational turkey vulture, and he is the goofiest bird I have ever worked with. He has a big personality. So his eyes are a little bit like on the sides of his head instead of like the daytime raptors that are right in front. So he does a lot of like head tilts, like to look at you and like, what are you doing? And so he's so
He
charismatic.
seems sarcastic just with his body language.
Oh my gosh.
And he's a clown. Like he'll hippity hop over and pull on your shoelace and then look at you and see what kind of response he can get. He's a clown and we love him a lot. But like, as far as their like ecological responsibility, they have such an amazing ability to help neutralize like toxins and dangerous things in the environment.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, their stomach acid is so aggressive that it neutralizes anthrax and botulism, along with a bunch of other viruses, bacteria, and fungi that would really be a problem, and not just a problem for like other scavenging animals, but it could fester in that particular, dead body and then spread and cause us problems. So they are really helping.
It's very useful.
Yes, people really like to talk to them about nature's cleanup crew, but that really does them a disservice. Like they really do so much more on a micro level than we could even appreciate.
I mean, I feel like you're going to help with their PR problem, though.
I hope so. Plus, like Tito, he does the job
Tito
for
might
himself.
be doing the work there.
He does. He's so handsome. He has his own Facebook page. It's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And obviously, the other, when we're thinking about raptors, we're thinking about hawks and eagles and falcons and owls.
Yep.
And is osprey maybe?
Osprey count. Yep. Harriers and kites.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so lots, and they all have, they catch their food with their feet.
Mm-hmm.
They eat meat.
They do.
And they have like the hooked beaks, right?
Yes, so they all have a beak that comes forward and it hooks sharply downward. And that is mostly, it helps with tearing food. But the quintessential shape is to not interfere with their incredible eyesight.
Because they can see.
They can see, yes.
Yeah.
So depending on the species and the metric, what we're measuring, they can see somewhere between 4 and 8 times better than you and me with corrective lenses.
Wow. That is incredible. And they hunt differently based on the time of day, right?
Yeah. So each one has their own natural history. So we have, 2 different genera of hawks. So we have woodland hawks and we have soaring hawks. Our soaring hawks are like the big red tails that you're used to seeing, and in the afternoons they ride those thermals and they go up.
I love it.
And they're big, they're beautiful, and they're buoyant, right? But the way that they catch their food is their perch and pounce. So they will post up somewhere really tall, wait for a rodent to kind of crawl underneath them, and then kind of just like step off the perch and fall on top of it and hope it all works out.
Wow.
They don't like to do a lot of work. That's
my kind of bird.
Yeah, they are unmotivated for exercise, but it works, right? And that works for them. Whereas our woodland hawks, the accipiters, so our sharpshins, our Cooper's hawks, and our goshawks, they are pursuit hunters in the woods. So they have shorter wings and a really long tail, and they tail chase other birds through the woods. So that tail acts as a rudder so they can turn on a dime. And so they, again, very different hunting strategies. But, some of our birds are owl species, and they hunt, if they have like yellow eyes, they're hunting at dawn and dusk.
Okay.
So they're kind of crepuscular. And then our barred owls are our only owls that have true dark eyes, and those are our true night owls. So they're hunting through the night.
Wow.
So it depends. Each species has their own niche, has their own food source. They're just so cool.
And obviously eagles.
Yes.
I feel like we have a lot of eagles here.
We do. And
that's not normal for a lot of places.
Correct.
Yes.
We're very fortunate. So eagles are supposed to be fish hunters. So they're fishermen, right? They're also scavengers.
Yeah.
So we like to call them generalists. It's a little bit of a better, like a PR friendly term. They're generalists. But because of our proximity to so much open water, we do have a higher density of our eagle populations up here. And their bounce back from DDT, that caused their eggshells to be thin. So that way when the parents would go to incubate, the eggs would crack. So we went a decade without any eagle babies.
Wow.
So their population resurgence is going great. One thing that we have noticed is that over the last 10 years, our osprey population, that kind of like took over the eagle, the niche, has been slowly reducing and like going back to normal because our eagles are all moving back and they're stealing all the osprey fish because the osprey go under the water to catch the food, like totally amazing. Submerged, swim to the top and then take off from the water, and the eagle goes, yeah, I want that. And then they come over and scam the fish. So they let the osprey do all the work, and those osprey are like, nah, pass. Like, we'll go inland to the rivers.
We'll figure it out.
We'll go somewhere else.
I love that. And we're here with Kevin Klein, Executive Director of TVC Cherry Capital Airport. And, I'm thinking about the summertime, which I do approximately 99% of the time here in Northern Michigan, right? And it's a good thing we're doing that because now is the time, believe it or not, to plan for summer vacation. Where are we going, Kevin?
So, you've got so many different nonstop destinations to go to in summertime fun. But book now because we got 7 great airlines here. We'll start off with Allegiant, Avelo. We have Sun Country. We have JetBlue. Of course, then you have American, United, and Delta.
Yeah.
So that rounds off all 7 of them. And I think that, they can take you not only anywhere in the country, those 29 stop destinations, but it's one stop to the rest of the world.
So many opportunities for all of you to make your summer travel plans right now. Best way to do that is go to
tvcairport.com.
Why does this work matter to the community? I mean, you've talked a lot about the ecosystem, about the education, the ambassador birds, but you're really, your mission is not just, to save these birds, but to really change how people see them. Can we talk a little bit about that side of it, that education side of it?
Absolutely. So one of the things that I like to lead with in our educational programs is that these birds are protected, and they're protected with so many layers. But
you can't just get one and keep it.
Correct. You can't even have a feather.
Right.
We call them felony feathers because it's an alliteration and it rolls off the tongue. But it is a felony to have a feather of a migratory bird. So it's they're so protected. They're protected at the state level. They're protected on a federal level. And then our eagles have an additional 2 layers of protections around them. And beyond anything else, they are, because they're top tier predators, and their systems, in order to fly and be predatory, are so refined and so there's so much finesse that little changes in the ecosystem can be catastrophic for them. So from a population monitoring perspective, if we notice in a particular area that the populations of, let's say, kestrels have dropped off, we can investigate that. And maybe it is a chemical in our pesticides that are causing them problems. It is such a fine degree, but if we extrapolate that bigger, we can stop that before it becomes a human health problem.
Oh, wow.
So we do reporting for the CDC too. Like when we have like outbreaks of like something pops for botulism or something like that, we're doing all of that reporting. So that way we're contributing to human health and safety long before it ever hits the news, because it should never hit the news from a human perspective, because we're doing our job. So they're a great barometer for the health of the ecosystem, but we're also using them as an early warning system for us.
Raptors is a keystone species.
Yes.
So they directly affect the outcome of that nice web of life, where even down to the rodent population that might be changing the landscape by our waterways, the marshes, and that might affect the quality of our water directly from a different side.
It's all connected.
It's all connected.
It is all connected. It's so fascinating to me, because I imagine that one of the biggest, as far as the raptor population is concerned, when you see these injured birds, oftentimes it's probably going to be caused by humans, right?
Yeah.
You know, whatever humans are putting up into building, removing the ecosystems, and then not to mention cars and all sorts of other things, boats, all these things. And yet it's humans that are trying to help and protect them. So that's such it's a weird intersection to be navigating for you.
It is definitely a dichotomy. And it's one that we want to navigate gently, because it is our experience that the people that we're interfacing with, no one's intentionally harming animals, right? Honestly, 90% of them are like horrified that something, because you don't know what you don't know, right? So it's an educational opportunity. And I think it's really important that we meet people where we're at, because if we come at it from like a shame or just a shameful perspective, like nobody learns that way. I don't. Somebody comes at me like that, I'm like, well, I'll go over here and do something else. Like, I don't want to listen to that at all. I'm not learning anything that way. But if we can come at it from a more compassionate perspective, because I know that I've learned things that I wouldn't do anymore, for my whole life. So, but when I knew better, I can do better. And so that's kind of where we operate from.
Yeah. I feel like I grew up in a time too where, you just didn't know certain things, right? Like I didn't know that keeping a lawn was probably catastrophic to my environment. Yeah, I just grew up with a lawn, that's what we did. And I think when people maybe are shouting at you like, you're killing the earth with your lawn, I'm like, it's just grass, man.
Right.
But if you're doing it in a kinder way of like, hey, have you thought about, planting native plants or, maybe putting clover in instead of grass or that kind of thing, it changes the conversation and makes it more approachable. And that's the same thing you're doing with these birds.
Yeah, I think it makes it a conversation instead of me hollering from a soapbox. Like, I don't have the energy for that. But also, like, the community that I'm serving is the animal community, but it's the human community
just as much.
Absolutely. And I want them to be like, hey, Kaitlyn, call me on the phone and be like, hey, Kaitlyn, I don't know if this animal is hurt or whatever, or if I just need to leave it alone. I want to have that conversation.
Yeah.
And if I'm mean, then there's no conversation. Like, no one's calling me if I'm not nice and approachable.
There's some things that I wonder if people realize about this work. And one thing that always comes up for me, especially thinking about people working in rehabilitation in general, but especially with wild animals, is the emotional toll. Yeah. Because we know not every one of these birds is going to survive. And your time and dedication, that is so obvious.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that emotional toll?
I am very intentional about where I place my heart. Each one of the animals that we admit, we are responsible just as much for their lives as we are for their graceful deaths.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to get emotional.
I was going to say.
Yeah,
I don't get emotional very often anymore. Wow.
But it's very true.
Yeah, it is. And it's important that we also acknowledge that each one of these animals, if there was no human intervention after whatever incident occurred, is a dead animal.
Right.
It's going to die on its own in the wild, and it's like Mother Nature is brutal.
Yeah.
Like she's metal, man.
Mean,
like,
yeah.
oh man. And in every aspect. So our responsibility is to the animal in front of us, and whatever that means. Let's take this little baby, for example. He or she, don't know. We don't have developed genitalia yet. But he or she may have a fractured pelvis and it's not repairable.
Right.
It is the responsible thing to do for my organization to gracefully and humanely euthanize that animal instead of them growing up and not being able to function properly going forward and being painful for the next 35 years.
Yeah.
And they're not just going to tell you.
And they're not because they're top tier predators, but they're also prey, depending on how big they are. They mask pain. And so even just a slight like body position shift, that's enough to tell us like, hey, we should probably get x-rays. That looks a little funny, you know? So as far as managing that from an emotional toll perspective, it is understanding and making sure that my whole team understands. First, guard your heart. Second, understanding that, you know, all the animals that are coming into our care, they are getting our care and the grace that they deserve. And you know, that's part of it. So it does make the releases extra special.
Yeah, I bet.
We get asked at every release, aren't you sad to see it go? And it is like, oh,
no way.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
Not a chance. This is the best part of the job because it is such a small percentage that are able to retake the skies.
Yeah.
Because they have to be perfect.
Yeah.
A dog or cat that breaks their leg or their forelimb or their arm, it can be okay. And they can still have a wonderful life. And also, if they start to get arthritis or get painful, well, they have people there to support them and to care for them, you know, through their lives. If we release a bird that is not perfect or is prone to arthritis in the future, no one's going to be there for them for that, you know, and they're not going to come back knocking and say, hey, sis, I need the you know, those pain meds made me feel okay. Can we get that kicked up again? So yeah, we have to be very conscious about what our responsibilities are.
Right.
And then as far as our hearts go, I mean, we may be guarded with our patients, but our educational ambassadors reap the benefits of us being kind of withholding on one side because every bit of love and emotion, like and good feelings and support goes their way.
What's a story? I need to ask this because I've seen people see your birds. I've seen this happen. And there's something that happens to the human that is just like, I don't know what the word, it's almost like you're put into a place of like real, true respect looking at this animal. Yes. Can you share a story about that?
I was going to say, Shell has one for sure.
I'll tie it back a little bit. What were we talking about before the podcast started? Immediately you went to when you first saw a bird of prey.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a story of the first time they saw a bird of prey.
Yeah.
I think they are so magical and surreal, and yet they're real. So when you do see one in person, typically you're looking up.
Yeah.
And you're seeing them far, far away. When they get close to you, it's something instinctual for us to like offer them some reverence.
Yeah, right.
and to maybe pick up that they might be a dangerous creature too. Look at those talons up close. Look at this beak.
And they deserve respect. And it's sometimes strange though when you see people of all ages. It's something that happens to their body language, their face. I don't know. Yeah. It's amazing.
It's one of the best parts of the job.
It really is.
We were recently behind a table with the birds in a place that people didn't expect to see us. First off, just being there and we're greeting people. And then as they would turn and see the bird, I mean, that was 3 hours of people going, oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
look. Yeah. I'd take that. That was filling.
It is the
completely
best part of the
filling
job.
to me.
That is
it really, really
fantastic.
is the best part of the job.
Well, you have so much that is happening. You know, you have the partnership that's going on, you know, and you're building the new space. How can people help? Like, you need money. You need, you know, people who attend programs. What do you need?
Oh man, yes, 100% we need money.
Yes.
Wildlife rehabilitators in Michigan, we are not state or federally funded. So literally to do our jobs is dependent in how many animals we can help and in what capacity is entirely dependent on the generosity of our community.
Wow.
So our budget dictates our volume, essentially. But with this big project, absolutely, we are currently in the process for looking for like named sponsors. So popping a name on a building. Our hospital is still up for grabs. So if somebody wants to have it be the so-and-so's Raptor hospital, like let's go, let's talk, let's have a coffee. We can get
naming rights for
Heck
this.
yeah.
Wow.
But we have the big naming rights, but we also have, it parsed down into smaller chunks as well. But you can visit our website at northskyraptor.org. You'll see our project is right there in kind of the header. We have a little flip book that's up there that identifies all of that. And then if you want to have a conversation, you can give us a call. Our contact information is right on that website.
And you can find out about rehabilitation and release. And if you ever get to go to a release, go to the release. Like change your plans that day. It is truly magical. I've been able to see one or two in my life. It's just been amazing.
It's very special.
So northskyraptor.org.
Yes.
I really want to meet this bird. And before we meet her, Raza?
Yes.
So tell us about Raza's story. How did you meet Raza?
Yeah, Raza hatched from a nest scrape. So she's a peregrine falcon. So they don't nest in like sticks. They nest on cliff ledges. And her particular cliff ledge is on a piece of property that is commercial, but the owners of that property have been monitoring this two couple of peregrine falcons nest in the same spot for almost a decade.
Wow.
And some of their notes are better than my ornithologist
Go citizen
friends.
scientists.
Yeah, so like 100% plug for citizen scientists. They know when the mom gets back each year, when the dad gets back, and like notes per year when copulation happened, when eggs happened, when the first baby came out, like all the things without a live stream camera. They're looking through their binoculars from the break room. Amazing. We love this. But because they have all this history and like watching these babies fledge and all this history of these animals, they knew something was wrong because she fledged. So she left the nest scrape for the first time. She got blown into a window. Nobody's a good flyer. No one's a good driver on their first drive out.
That's
and
very true.
imagine trying to not drive, but fly. Crazy. So like they monk around, but she didn't get back up in the air. And so that's when they gave us a call. We sent one of our subcommittees up to go scoop her up, took her to Grand Rapids to have surgery. She ended up having a broken wing. We took her to Grand Rapids. We have an incredible orthopedic surgeon.
Go Dr. V.
Go Dr. V. She is magic. She calls herself a mechanic, and that is such an unjust description of her excellence. But she fixed her up pretty good. She had pins put in, and she healed beautifully. But unfortunately, it's not 100% perfect. And if she were any other species, she'd have been released. But because she's a peregrine falcon, they dive at over 240 miles an hour, and just a little, off. Or just a little discrepancy in what she needs to be able to do. A mistake at 240 miles an hour is a massive mistake. Right. So we knew pretty early on that she was not going to be released back out into the wild. So we worked with Fish and Wildlife and some master falconers who had been working with peregrine falcons for a long, long time out of Southeast Michigan, and worked on developing her into the little rock star that you're going to meet here shortly.
That is amazing. Can we meet this little rock star right now? I think that would be great.
Excuse me, nice lady. You gonna talk to us at all? Or are you gonna be such a well-behaved girl? I love her. I do too. Hi. What do you think? Did you want to come out? Step up. That's better. Oh my land! It's spring, you guys. So I'm so sorry about all the fluffy.
No worries.
Hi. Oh yeah, you gonna talk about it? Thank you. She's not sorry at all.
Like, no.
So these are anklets. So they're custom fit bits of leather that kind of wrap around there. This little nubbin here is for a GPS transmitter for when she free flies. These bits that poke through are called jesses. And that keeps the anklet on, but also allows for where we attach the leash. If we were to attach the leash just to her ankles, she'd kind of be like handcuffed down there, so that those jesses allow her to move her feet independently, and so that way she stays comfortable. Yeah, you're a good girl.
What must you think of this? Oh,
she's like, this is
great.
average
I
day.
love it.
There's new people. I get to look at them. My life is good.
Would you like to
she's
come
gonna
into
rouse.
the studio?
She's rouse. Oh, good. You're so pretty. Good job.
You're so beautiful.
So they only do that when they're comfortable. So you're already in. What do you think,
would
sis?
you like to be a guest on the podcast, Raza?
I
Yes.
was really hoping she'd head up. Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
But she loves watching people do what people do. We move. We're full of different directions and levels of sound. And all of that ends up being super enriching for her.
Oh.
She is like just the perfect, curious creature.
You're just beautiful.
And
I
it
just
is-
have to say.
Yeah, it is a benefit of us having her at such a young age, knowing that she was going to be not releasable, because that allowed us to kind of shape her and expose her to a lot of different stimulus really early in her life. So not only does very little phase her anymore, everything's an opportunity for excitement and
that's
engagement. What are you so exciting back there?
Oh, the windows.
Oh, there's
like the
pigeons out
windows.
there.
Yeah, there's pigeons.
Oh, yeah, we love a pigeon. But you can see, so we talked a little bit about her disability. So her alula, so a bird's thumb is called their alula. And even though it wasn't part of the initial fracture, there were pins in stabilizing that fracture. And she was still growing still and developing. And so her alula, instead of developing in line, thank you, here, like it is all in line and perfect. Thank you so much for the nibbles. This one is just on the inside slightly. So even though that had nothing to do with her fracture, the management of that fracture, the only way we could keep that fracture stabilized was through pins. Unfortunately, that had that side effect, and it doesn't bother her. It's not painful. It's just
the way it
it's just
healed,
the way that she grew into her own body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she is a wonderful ambassador.
She is.
I mean, I cannot wait. Yes.
You tell us all about it. Thanks for using your inside voice.
It's so nice of you. I really can't wait for the Research and Community Education Center. I mean, that is unbelievable. If people want to get involved, which, look at this bird, you want to get involved, northskyraptor.org. You have definitely, I've just done something, you can check it off my bucket list. Hanging out with a raptor for a little while has been amazing. I'm really excited, and I can't wait to see what this success for you all looks like, and what you're doing for the community is amazing. This is one of those conversations that reminds me of how connected everything really is. You know, it's our choices, our environment, and those incredible birds that are flying above us when you see them. Oh, it's just amazing. So Kaitlyn and Shelly and Raza, thank you for the work that you're doing and for bringing us into your world today. You can learn more at northskyraptor.org. That's beautiful. And as always, thank you for listening to Currently the Conversation. It's brought to you by TVC Cherry Capital Airport, your Northern Michigan connection. I'm Christal Frost, and we're going to see you next time. I can't wait to just, I don't know. I want to get involved. I can't wait.
You're welcome into the flock anytime.
In the flock, baby.